Hi, Achim here, InnerSpace Explorers. Today is basically part 2 of a new video series that I'm doing. You haven't seen part 1 yet because I'm missing the underwater part. So the series is basically different rebreathers and showing them to you, explaining how they work, assembling together with you, and then basically take you on a dive. So number 1 is the Draeger LR5, but the dive I did was down by the river here and the visibility was 0. So it was a feel around dive and obviously there's no proper video footage from it. So I need to go somewhere else and repeat that dive or do a dive for you and show you the unit in the water. And so this is why today I start with something else. So before I go to the rebreather, just a few words on that t-shirt, because funny, I bought this I think 90 or 91 in Florida, and for some reason it has a couple of memories, etc. And today it's more competition between my wife and myself, if she manages to throw it away, if I manage to keep it. But the last time I did a video on it, somebody actually wrote me afterwards if he should send me a t-shirt. Very much appreciated, and actually get t-shirts quite often from people. And somebody else was talking and was like, there's a hole in your t-shirt. It was on a shop here around. And I was like, yeah, no, it's vintage. And he was like, oh, that's how it should be. And I was like, yeah. He was like, where did you get that from? And I was like, oh, Florida, 1991. And he was like, so that's the shop, they have a website? Anyway, so if you want to send me a t-shirt, please do so, but not because I don't have a proper one. I just love this one. So today I want to talk a rebreather called SWEET, and SWEET is the acronym for Shallow Water Expedition and Exploration Tool. And it is a rebreather that I built, an oxygen rebreather, and I'll show this to you now. Here it is. So there's a few things you need to know. First of all, this one's not in use anymore, for a very simple reason: the counterlong's falling apart. But I did probably 50-60 dives with that a couple of years ago, and as you can see, it's the counterlong's on the back, tanks on the front, continuous bleeding oxygen, I think 0.5 liters I can inject. A mouthpiece is missing as well, but I'll break this unit down for you on a table in a minute and explain a little bit. I just wanted to show you how it's used. It was obviously inspired by the original Draeger unit that was used by Lotte Hass. If you've seen the movie about his wife, there's a lot of details on the rebreather. I'll put a link in the description of the video. And there's a gentleman in the east of Germany who's actually doing a lot of conversions with the old Eastern German tank rescue unit, and this part, for example, is also from that, and I think he made something very similar. I'll see if I find the website. I think he had a website where he was doing a lot of conversion stuff, and if I find it, I'll put a link in the description as well. Alright, so let's have a look at this unit. Alright, so here it is, and I'll just go through the components, explain a little bit. So basically everything on that rebreather, beside the tank and the first stage with the basically ADV, if you want so, is made by myself. And just thinking, I think it was probably in the mid-90s that I built this unit. And the reason I'm not using it anymore is only because the counterlong starts to fall apart. And that's actually a problem that I never managed to solve. And if one of you, I'll talk about it in a minute, has a solution for that, I'm super interested. Because to be honest, I really like to dive it. It was an awesome machine. I had a lot of fun with it. And I'm actually quite sad that I can't use it anymore. I mean, I didn't put tons of effort in like remaking this, but yeah. So as you can see, it is a very simple harness that's just basically made from weight belt material, and that I just sewed together. there is this metal bracket that I made from aluminium that holds this 1 liter tank, and that's the first stage. And it has a, I'll just turn this a little, here's a button for manual oxygen injection, and it has a constant bleeding of, if I remember correct, 0.5 liters, so a little bit less than the KISS. And so basically the oxygen flows here along the shoulder over my back and then feeds into the head of the rebreather, which is made from, this one's made from PVC. The loop, the mouthpiece, is something I made myself as well on a lathe and a milling machine. I'll show you a little bit closer how that works. Actually, as you can see, I just plugged those on and didn't put clamps or anything around it. I basically reassembled the unit yesterday so I can show it to you. It was sitting in a box for years. So I just take this off, and there you can see there's no flapper valves in there at the moment, but this is the carriers, and it basically doesn't have any O-rings. It seals through the internal pressure of the inner roll, so it actually tries to expand because it's cut and then like pressed together, put in, and if there's a little bit of grease on it, actually seals quite well. And yeah, you can see this is open, this is close, open, close. So it's a real Achim DSV. All right, so let me take these hoses off here as well and show you the counterlung. And this is actually what I liked a lot on this design. So this is the counterlung. Even those here, this is cut from aluminium, made that myself. And the unique thing is, or I mean, it's not unique, but the design, the canister of the rebreather is inside the counterlung, like for example on the Gastoro. So actually warm gas, so the isolation of the counterlung of the canister is pretty good. You can see here a little bit inside. This is the canister. You can see the thief on the back. There's a spring that you can probably see, and this little nut here. So when you fill it, the sieve goes on top, then the nut, and it seals it. And then actually I'll show you the head. So this is the head, and so the oxygen goes in here. This is the exhalation side, then it goes into the tube. And actually I need to take it apart so I can show you a little bit better how this was done. And I could have opened it here all the way every single time, which is a pain in the butt, and that's why I came up with this dry suit zipper. So here we have it, and remove this one, and then the oxygen goes on the exhalation side. So my exhalation gas comes in here, the oxygen comes in here, and then you see that this is blocked here, and the gas goes out in the counterlung. And then from the underside of the canister, gas goes through the lime, comes out here, and is inhaled here again. So that's the principle. The sealing here is the material. This is basically pond foil, so it's what do you call it? PDM. It's like a very strong rubber material, and as you can see, after 50-60 dives, the glue basically started to come apart, so this thing started to leak pretty bad, and that's the reason I stopped using it. So the idea was the zipper worked perfectly. I could have been maybe 2 centimeters longer, so it's always a little bit of a pain in the butt to get this thing together. But as I said, I did like 50, 60 dives with it, a lot of them in the 1.5 to 2 hour range. Breathing is really, really nice, and did a lot of underwater photo sessions with it in shallow water, a lot around here in the lakes, and yeah, if I would manage to rebuild this in a reasonable way, I would actually immediately start to dive it again. Yeah, one of my genius ideas, and one of the breeders that I made and that I was really proud of. And I hope you like this idea. If you playing around with rebreathers as well, and if you're building and modifying whatever, probably gives you a couple of ideas. If you have questions, comments, put them in the comment section. I always appreciate that, and I will try to answer as many as I can. If you want to discuss this thing in detail, check out my Patreon site, and if you like my content, hit the like button and subscribe to my channel, and wait for the next one. So I'll definitely publish probably next week the video of the LR5. I have a LR7 flying around here. There's a KISS Sports coming in hopefully next week as well, and some more stuff. And if you have a rare rebreather in your basement sitting somewhere, or if you're diving it and you're interested to see it on the channel, let me know. Maybe we can meet up and do this together, so we can show you rebreather, you dive it, I film, etc. Would be my absolute pleasure. So have a nice weekend, take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.